what's up, boxing fans? A little bit of Pat Travers to intro us to this fight. This will be preview number 2 of the Glory Days Boxing Light Heavyweight set. And I actually meant to get this fight up yesterday, but doing last-minute things to get the set to the printers today kind of derailed that. So Archie Moore and Roy Jones Jr., 2 defensive specialists, will go at it over 10 rounds today in what promises to be interesting technical matchup. Both fighters have a block range of 1 to 7. In fact, they're identical in terms of what they block and what range, plus the additional -1 when punches are blocked. So that I'm looking for that to come into play in this fight and potentially make a difference in close rounds. We'll see who has the better luck with the defensive roles. Apart from that, a pretty even matchup. Moore is, of course, a higher rated fighter, 10-star fighter. So he's got that number 4 here where he's going to have the additional ring general star, which Roy Jones does not have. He's a straight 9-star fighter. Chin-wise, power-wise, fairly compatible. Moore, a little bit harder hitter at light heavyweight than Jones was. Jones still has a good enough pop, though. And chin, both fighters better than average in terms of getting them off their feet. Once they go down, though, both with chin KO ratings of 4, a little bit worse than average in terms of top-level fighters, at least. Moore can take more punishment. And apart from that, most everything else is pretty even. These guys are, I guess, very clone-like in their fighting styles. Stamina, a slight edge to Moore. So basically, as we get ready to do this, and IDJ and Matt Steeler fan have joined us at ringside. Welcome, guys. As we get ready to do this, just and shout out to both those guys too. Matt Steeler fan 1933, an excellent contributor and very vital to the Glory Days boxing process. Also has a great universe going on the Operation Sports forums, and of course IDJ, king of the Game Masters. And I'm going to spring for my first war game, I think, IDJ, once I get the light heavyweight set released and done with, and that is going to be the Hunters. So checked out some videos on that and actually talked to Matt a little bit about it too. So that looks like it'll be my first solo war game purchase. Looking forward to that. Looks like a fun game to play, to kill, half hour to an hour at a time. And in terms of the release, the sets went to the printer this morning. He acknowledged receipt of it and told me he should have it by the end of the week, Friday. So if all goes according to plan and nothing out of the ordinary happens, and it basically is on his end in terms of his business, I should have them back before the weekend, which means we will open up pre-orders Friday. PDFs will be available Friday as well, and then the sets will go out next week. So exciting news there. But now it's time to get down to business here, as Moore and Jones are in their corners. Both fighters receiving their last-minute instructions, and they are ready to go. So bell rings, and we are underway. And right out the gate, Roy Moore charges from his corner, gets inside, and looks to do some damage in there. 93, however, he's going to come in too fast, and that will result in a clinch, which is a shame because it would have been not only a possible knockdown, but if that clinch hadn't been initiated, Moore would have gone down if he landed. So a little bit too excited as Roy joins Jones Jr. to start this fight, and twos again from the inside. Jones staying in tight. This time lets the hands go and gets through. 28 is going to be a brisk, actually a sharp 3-punch combination. They all get through as Moore is unable to block any of those. So Jones Jr. off to the faster start in this fight, but Archie Moore looks to fight back now and looking to move from the outside. But again, Jones gets inside tight, lets the hands go. He's going to miss, and Moore unable to counter. 2 minutes to go in the opening stanza. Jones fighting at a much different pace than we expected. Moore, though, establishes distance and takes control. This is where he is deadly with that 5, and that's going to be a 3-punch combination by Archie. 19, a possible cut to Roy Jones Jr., and 5 is within I'm sorry, possible knockdown, and 19. Jones is going to take those punches. No issues with that, and the fighters separate. Starting off as we thought, as Moore again looks to work from the outside, and Jones beats him there and lets the hands go first. 28, and Roy Jones Jr., he gets another 3-punch combination through, and 6 for Archie Moore, and he's going to actually defend those, and he's going to block all 3 of those. So there we go. We have our first defensive whiz result coming into play, and that takes away all 3 of those punches. Great work with Moore using the elbows in his gloves to block those shots. And from the outside, Archie Moore looks to go. It's going to be toe-to-toe from the inside, though. Jones initiates it, goes first, 68. He is going to miss. No knockdowns or cuts in this segment by either fighter. And Archie Moore does not miss. A jab, hook, and a vicious uppercut get through. 3 punches land. 1 minute to go in the round. And Moore now looking to capitalize on that last segment, working to get from the outside. But Roy Jones Jr., he's been very consistent in this fight. 2 stars again, and he's going to take back control. Lets the hands go, but Jones cannot connect, and Moore unable to counter. 40 seconds to go. Would have been a possible cut for Jones. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. That too, IDJ. I think I will have fun with that. And Mark Jones has joined us at ringside to watch a fellow Jones. And thus far, Moore's off to a little bit quicker start than him, though Jones has had opportunities, just has been wild. And Moore from the outside, there's that 3-star result, takes control, lets the hands go, and that is a 4-punch combination. So Archie Moore establishing himself, but 3, we're going to have a defensive adjustment there as 1 -1 punch plus the trait. So Jones takes 2 of those away. Now, both fighters in the first round have seen their defensive whiz trait come into play, taking punches away from the other. Jones picked off all those except 1 as Archie Moore looks to get inside now, and he's going to get there. It's going to be a toe-to-toe exchange. Archie Moore initiates, goes first, 20 from the inside, and that's masterful boxing, working levels. 4 punches get home, and Roy Jones Jr., as the round comes to a close, he lets go with a 4-punch salvo of his own, coming from all angles, and bell rings. A exciting finish to the first. And that will be a close round as expected, 12-7 in terms of punches landed. Referee today is Ken Morita. He is normal, and we're just using generic judges to let the traits of these fighters come out. So 12 punches to 7. Archie Moore with the advantage, a 5-punch differential. As we go to the judges' scorecards to see what they come up with. And already this fight, without giving away any spoilers, may be steeped in a little bit of controversy. And again, this is a fight I expect to go all 10 rounds, though both fighters are certainly capable of a stoppage. I am not seeing that at this point as round number 2 gets underway, and Archie Moore charges out, takes control from the outside. 91 is going to be a clinch. So he starts the second round the same way Jones started the first, by charging and grabbing on. 1 star from the inside for Archie, and Roy Jones Jr. beats him there again, 82. And Jones, he's going to miss, and Moore tries to counter, can't do that. So Roy Jones Jr. seems a little bit excited early in the action here, as it's going to be 2 stars again for Jones, taking control from the outside and lets the hands go there. A wicked 5-punch combination, or 4-punch combination, sorry. And no defense. 2 minutes to go in the second round. So Jones starts the second fast, just like he did in the first. Then Moore came back as the round progressed. And it's going to be 2 stars for each fighter from the inside, toe-to-toe. Roy Jones goes first. He misses. Archie Moore fires back. He does not. A jab, hook, and an uppercut get through again. 1:40 to go on the round. The fighter circling now at ring center. Very clean thus far in terms of action in tight. And once again, Roy Jones, he has been consistently rolling 2 stars and consistently unable to capitalize on that as he misses, and countering opportunity goes to Moore. He misses as well. Closing in on the final minute of round number 2 as Archie Moore now takes decisive control from the outside. And he is going to miss. And coming back to counter, Roy Jones Jr. gets home a 2-punch combination capped off by a cross. 1 minute to go in the round now as Jones looks to capitalize on that and increase the output. Toe-to-toe from the inside. Jones goes first, 18. And that is going to be a sharp 3-punch combination. And no knockdowns or cuts potentially as Moore looks to fire back. And 43, he's going to get in a couple of shots of his own. That's a vicious cross, follows a jab. 40 seconds left in the round. Good action round in this one, and no defense here. And from the outside, Archie Moore again loses control. Roy Jones Jr., again, I think has rolled 2 stars in every single roll but 1 thus far in the fight. So looking again to do some damage, and this is going to come from the inside as lets the hands go. 33, and it's going to be another sharp 3-punch combination by Jones Jr. And no cut or knockdown. Final 20 seconds of the second round, and Archie Moore 1 star, and finally Jones no stars as Moore takes control from the inside to end the round, and he falls into a clinch as the bell rings. So a much better round for Jones in the second. And he is hanging with Archie. He outlanded Archie 12-5 in that round, so 7-punch differential. Okay. Right, we are set for round number 3, and thus far going pretty much as I had expected. A little bit more toe-to-toe action early on than I thought would happen. So here we go, round number 3. And Robert, and check out that wonderful channel, the Payoff Pitch Baseball Master 94 replay, and also a 1921 Cardinals replay, waiting for me to get another Yankees game on the table, which will happen this week. So welcome to ringside, my friend, as we start round number 3. From the outside, Archie Moore. And it is going to be a toe-to-toe exchange. Jones goes first, and 13 will give him on that. Lets the hands go. 4 punches land. And for Jones, no knockdown or cut there, but Moore will have the first knockdown opportunity to fight if he lands. And 23, 3-punch combination. That uppercut caps it off again. Chin check for Roy Jones. 6 or less, he's in trouble. 12, shakes it off. No problem. So good exchange to start the third round as Jones shakes his head, smiles, and Archie Moore, though, takes control from the outside. 53, he's going to get through with a vicious cross following a jab once again, and Moore is going to eat both those punches. 2:20 to go in the round. Archie Moore now loses control from the outside, and Roy Jones is going to miss, however. A countering opportunity for Moore. Big right hand falls just short of the mark as the fighters measure each other up once again. And in 99, first of all, let's get control. It's going to be 1 star, and Jones is in control as we go to the rare or the event chart. So let's see what shenanigans the boxing gods have in store for us. 28, and fighters dare each other to trade. Next segment, toe-to-toe, +1. Both punches landed. So outstanding. We have that to look forward to now, and it's going to be Jones going first on the toe-to-toe exchange as he had momentum. +1 if they land. 34, and I need to get location. And that exchange is going to come from the outside, so 34. And that is going to be a sharp 3-punch combination by Jones. And make that 4 with the adjustment. Moore, he's up to the challenge, fires back. 66, but he misses all of his shots. So Roy Jones Jr. getting the better of the Old Mongoose here in the early rounds, thus far at least, as Archie Moore, once again from the inside, loses control as Roy Jones Jr. from the outside, and possible knockdown for Jones, but he misses. Countering opportunity, and Moore misses that as well. 1 minute to go in the round. Deuces for both, and that's again going to go to Jones on the inside. He is pressuring Archie, and this is going to be a potential knockdown, a thudding combination. 4 punches land, and 5. Archie Moore is hurt. So for the next segment, unopposed action for Roy Jones Jr., and Archie Moore backs into the ropes. Whoops. Referee Moretto looking at him closely as Jones looks to move from the outside, lets the hands go and misses. So Jones can't take advantage of that opportunity, and Archie Moore able to tie up and clear his head. 3 stars from the outside, Moore in control to end the round, but he misses. Countering opportunity, and 2 more punches get through for Roy Jones Jr. He closes the round with a bang, and a decisive round going to Roy Jones Jr. 14 punches to 5 landed. Incredible. So after a first round that seemed to favor Moore, Roy Jones Jr. has had his way in the last 2 stanzas, and 14 to 5, another 9-punch differential round. Or not another, the first. That's been the biggest margin in this fight. That should be a decisive round to Roy Jones. So Jones and most folks at ringside seem to favor him early in this fight as fighters get instructions. Both up on their stools. Let's check in with the chat real quick. And Captain Carl has joined us as well. Love reading your Lineal Heavyweight Championship project. On that, basically just going by fighters. Some of the fighters did challenge, but basically any fighter that was active during that champion reign, I'm giving them a crack, even if they are terrible. And I'm going to get back to that after we get the light heavyweight set released, which is at the printers now. And Robert, he has got Rangers and Orioles tonight. So again, check that game out. And the Astros Phillies tomorrow, as we are set for round number 4. And this is a very entertaining fight thus far. And Roy Jones performing exceptionally well in the early going. Here we go. It's going to be Archie Moore from the outside, and there's that 3-star result again, but 88 from the outside is going to be a miss. Roy Jones looking to counter, lets the hands go, and a cross and a hook get through. 2 punches for Jones. And Moore seems frustrated early in this one, and 3, that's going to be 2 stars from the inside. And Jones, he's going to initiate a toe-to-toe exchange from the outside. Jones goes first, 51. He's going to miss. And Archie Moore, he's got a possible knockdown if he can connect here. Lets the hands go. Moore, and just misses a huge right hand. Grazed the chin of Roy Jones Jr. Steps back, takes a breath. He knows that would have hurt. So Archie Moore from the outside, a couple of stars, another toe-to-toe exchange. Once again, Jones initiates it as he has momentum. And that is going to be 4 big punches getting through and no knockdown or cut opportunity. Moore looking to answer back. And Moore is going to miss. So Roy Jones Jr. once again off to a quicker start here in the 4th round. And the Old Mongoose has not been able to apply his dastardly tricks and take control. Toe-to-toe again from the outside. Going first is Roy Jones Jr. and he misses. Archie Moore is going to have a possible cut if he can connect. 55 from the outside. He just misses as well. So both fighters just outside of their comfortable punching range, looking to get back in range in the pocket. Archie Moore moving to the inside, and it's going to be toe-to-toe again. And once again, Roy Jones is going to initiate this. He's going to have a possible cut now as combinations from angles get through and connect heavily with Moore. So Archie Moore, no knockdown for him. He's going to look to fire back. And that is going to be, on the inside will be a clinch. So that's going to take 3 punches away from Jones total. We're still going to have that cut check, though. And Archie Moore is a cut rating of 5. And 8. He is okay. No facial damage. So a timely clinch for Archie Moore, and it's going to be 2 stars for Moore from the inside. And finally, Moore takes control, moves in tight, lets the hands go. Vicious cross follows a jab. 2 punches land, and Jones eats them both. 1 minute to go in the round. Another good round for Roy Jones Jr. as Archie Moore from the outside, 2 stars, and it's going to be toe-to-toe again. This time Archie initiates it. He misses. Jones fires back. He does not. 4 big punches get through, and Jones snapping the head of Moore, frustrating him. Archie cannot find the distance. This has been all Roy Jones the last 3 rounds. It's going to be 1 star for Archie. That's enough to take control from the inside. 50 from the inside. Vicious cross and a jab. Only 2 punches get through, though, and no knockdown or block. Final 20 seconds of the round. Archie Moore wants to finish in a flurry here, try and steal this from the judges, and it's going to be 2 stars from the inside. Toe-to-toe they go from the inside. Archie first, and Archie's going to miss. And firing back is Roy, and he does not, as caps 2 brisk jabs, snapping the head back of Moore as the round comes to an end. Another big round for Roy Jones Jr. 13 punches to 5, and he is double figures the last 3 rounds. And more importantly, as we enter the 5th, wearing Moore down. He's down to 44 stamina. And I'd have to, at this point, consider not a huge upset, but a very mild upset we're looking at if Moore cannot get it together. So punch differential for that round is going to be another 9-punch round. So this will almost assuredly go to Jones on all 3. Just as I say that. Almost assuredly go to Jones on all 3 judges' cards. And Adelaide Bird is not part of this fight, so we can't blame her for any debaucherous scoring as we're set to go for round number 5. And IDJ, hey, thanks for stopping by and joining us at the fight. Have a good night, buddy. I'll be checking your channel out later. Here we go, round 5. And Archie Moore, 2 stars from the inside, and it is going to be another toe-to-toe exchange initiated by Jones. 5 big punches land as he lets the hands go. It's going to be a possible knockdown for Archie, though, if he can connect, and he needs this bad. 32, and Archie Moore, jab, hook, and an uppercut get through. 3 punches land. Chin check for Roy Jones. 6 or less, he's in trouble. 11, shakes it off. So he's taken the hardest punches thus far, but been able to basically laugh them off at this point. Archie Moore from the outside, a couple of stars. And it is going to be yet another toe-to-toe exchange, again, initiated by Jones. 46, he's going to miss, though. And Archie's going to fire back, and this will be a possible... No, not a possible cut. Looking at that wrong. As he fires back and gets home a couple of punches of his own. So Moore off to a much better start in this round. The last 3 have not gone his way at all. 2 stars for Archie from the inside. He's finally in control. Lets the hands go and would have been just missed a possible knockdown. 23 from the inside, though. That's going to be a jab, hook, and an uppercut. 3 big punches get through and defensive check. 2 of those are going to get taken away. So it's been a couple of rounds since we've had the defense play a factor. It does there. And Archie Moore, even when things go his way, something comes up. 2 stars from the outside. Toe-to-toe they go. Moore goes for first. He misses. Would have been a possible knockdown. And firing back is Jones. 97. And that is going to be 1 punch and a possible foul. So we'll have to do a foul check as Ken Morita steps in. And 8, he's just going to caution him. No official warning. 1 minute, 40 seconds to go. Roy Jones with momentum. Archie Moore, 2 stars from the inside, though. He takes it right back. 42, and that's going to be a vicious cross and hook combination. And for Roy Jones Jr., 5. Actually, he will block both of those with a 5 on defense plus the defensive whiz trait. So Archie Moore frustrated and negated once again. And it's from the outside. Archie Moore lets the hands go. 14. Masterful boxing, and 4 punches get through there. Defensive check, and he's going to take all of those. So a minute to go in the round. Archie Moore did not like being negated last segment. He connected with all 4 big shots there. Roy Jones looking to regroup. And it's going to be 2 stars from the inside. And once again, Moore in control. Moore lets the hands go. 21, and he's going to be frustrated as a jab, hook, and an uppercut get through. And only 1 of those is going to score with a defensive roll of 2 by Jones. So Jones doing some nifty defensive work here in the 5th round. And 2 stars from the inside. Once again, though, Moore pressing the action, works inside, And 80, that's going to be a miss. Jones looking to counter. Masterful job on the counter. 2 punches get through. That would have been a possible knockdown for Moore if he'd been able to land. He's missed some opportunities in this one early. And 2 stars again from the inside, toe-to-toe from the inside. Moore, who took back control, is going to go first. And 71, he's going to miss. Once again, Archie, possible knockdown. Can he connect? 19 from the inside. He does. Masterful boxing. 4 punches land. And we will close around with a chin check for Roy Jones Jr. as a thudding right hand caps that exchange. And Jones is hurt. Backs into the ropes, but the bell rings, and that will be the round. So best round since the first for Archie Moore, as that's going to be a 7-punch differential. And he had desperately needed that, too, to slow down Jones Jr. Let's see. You've had some shaky scoring in this one, folks. I'll be honest with you. So as the fight moves on, ringsiders still see Jones having the advantage. And stamina as we get ready to go into the 6th round. Still pretty even. And again, Moore had the head start there. He had 10 more to start the fight. So thus far, he has got 36 left heading into the 6th round, and Jones with 39. So both fighters still in reasonable shape there as we're ready to go. Round number 6, and fighters are out of the corner. There's the bell, and Archie Moore comes out from the outside. He's going to initiate a toe-to-toe exchange from the outside. 28, possible cut for Archie Moore as he gets through with a 3-punch combination. We'll come back to that as Jones Jr. dips into the pocket, looks to fire back from the outside. He's going to miss and cut check. And Jones, he has a cut rating of 6. And he is okay. Let's see if Archie Moore, if the last round was a start of a comeback. He needs it. 1 star from the inside, but Moore is going to take control from the inside. Lets the hands go. 88, but Moore smothers him, and it's going to be a clinch. Would have been a possible knockdown for Jones, who's not had any opportunities yet to crack Moore's chin. 2 stars from the inside. It's going to be another toe-to-toe exchange. And once again, going first is Jones. He misses. And going to get to fire back with a possible knockdown is Archie Moore, the Old Mongoose. Lets the hands go. 33. And there's that 3-punch combination again, capped off by an uppercut. Chin check as a thudding blow snaps Jones' head back. And Jones is down. Roy Jones Jr. is down. Referee begins to count. Ken Morita over him. 4 or less, this fight's over. Can he regain his feet? It's over. Out of nowhere, a wicked uppercut by Archie Moore snapped the head of Roy Jones Jr. back and ended the fight. He dropped face first, and Ken Morita counted him out. Holy cow, a sudden ending to this one. Coming early in the 6th round. And the official time on that, a little bit of a shocker there. 49 seconds into the round, a knockout by Archie Moore. And nobody saw that coming, especially Roy Jones, who just now has been helped to his feet and asking, what the hell happened? He lost. 6th round knockout for the Old Mongoose. So it's been an interesting fight. Punches landed. 54 punches landed for Jones Jr. and only 41 for Archie Moore. Obviously, the important one. Moore definitely landed the harder shots. He had rolled 3 successful power checks. The first 2 Jones shook off. This one just caught him cold and put him to sleep. Even more interesting through 5 rounds was the scoring. A couple of the close rounds went to Jones, even though he landed less punches, namely the first. So here was our scoring after 5 rounds. Judge 1 had it 48-47. Judge 2 had it 49-46. And Judge 3 had it 48-47, all for Roy Jones Jr. halfway through the fight. So Archie Moore, he was coming on, had a great 5th round, got back into the fight, but he definitely needed to make something big happen, and he assuredly did. So it was definitely a fatality. Let's catch up with the chat. And I should have fan man into the ring. I've never had that interference rare result come up yet in all my testing. Just looking at the rare event chart here on the right. Quite honestly, I've only had, since this chart was put out, probably only gone to the rare event chart, I think 5 or 6 times. So yeah, I've still got a lot to explore out of that. But excellent fight. This was pretty much everything I thought. And Jones, again, very tough. His defensive checks were more successful than Moore. I think he blocked a total of, going by memory, 8 punches from Archie Moore, 8 or 9. But that last one just put him to sleep. And that kind of, I guess, goes with Moore at the heavier, or with Jones, I'm sorry, at the heavier weight. He's a formidable, great boxer no matter what. Probably most successful, of course, at super middleweight, which is not going to be a carded set, unfortunately. So we are stuck with him at lightweight, but he'll do good there. But that's going to do it. So once again, just to recap, light heavyweight set went to the printers this morning, and he acknowledged that, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and said that they should be done by the end of the week. And he's usually pretty good. He usually gets everything done within a week. So I'm expecting to pick them up Thursday or Friday. That being the case, pre-sale will go up Friday because I still have to QC and sort the cards, which I do over the weekend. And then they'll start shipping out next week. And then the PDF will be available for direct download on Friday as well. So that's going to do it here from ringside. We thank everyone for joining us. And just to recap, Matt, Steeler Fan 1933, ID Jester. And again, check out his War Game channel. Mark Jones, thank you very much for stopping in. RJL 518 does Payoff Pitch 1994-1921, currently in process. Captain Carl, appreciate you stopping by. And again, thanks to everyone for support. And Pete, just got in. Yeah, he did. Go back and watch it. It was actually a very, very close and entertaining fight. And let's just say it ended it suddenly. How about that? So have a great night, everyone. Thank you for joining. And as always, until next time, keep rolling for that knockout, and we'll see you later. Next up, we're going to get back to the 1921 Yankees Payoff Pitch replay. So coffee and baseball tomorrow, if I get up early enough, which I should. So hope you all have a great night, and happy Monday to y'all. We'll see you later. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming. Take care.